Michael Berg is a former congressional candidate from Delaware. He is the father of Nicholas Berg, who was murdered in 2004 by al-Qaeda operatives in Iraq. Do you think this country can handle 100, 120 deaths a month, to use Bill Kristol's phrase, or not?
I don't think the world can handle it. I think this country is handling a lot more than 120 deaths a month. When you count in the Iraqis, there's more than that per day. And I think that the rest of the world understands that that this is too many deaths, that one death is too many deaths, and it's just we in the United States who are isolated and insulated from all of the death, with the exception of the 120 Americans.
Well, Mr. Berg, it's I think everybody in their idealistic moments would accept the notion that any death is one death too many. But let's pretend I'm a draft board in 1968. Are you a complete pacifist? You would not accept a war in any
Yes, I am.
All right. So you would not defend the country if it were attacked.
Our country hasn't been attacked.
Well, it was attacked in 1941. Would you have defended the country then?
If I were, if we're going to get theoretical about what I would have done was to have had a different treaty than the Treaty of Versailles in 1919 that humiliated and put economic hardship on the German people to such an extent that they were willing to accept any.
What'd that have to do with the Japanese attacking us at Pearl Harbor?
Well, the Japanese attack of Pearl Harbor might have had something to do with the 10,000 airplanes that we had poised throughout China ready to strike Japan. It might have had something to do with the economic policies of the United States.
So in your view, that at the times America's had to go to war, it was actually our fault?
I didn't say it was our fault. I'm just saying there was something else that we could have done about it other than going to war. We could have...
What would you do about al-Qaeda right now?
What would I do about al-Qaeda right now? I would recognize them as the true representative of a lot of people in the Middle East. I would negotiate with them. That's what I would have done to begin with.
What would you negotiate?
911. Removal of all U.S. personnel from the Middle East. I think that's what they wanted. I would negotiate our support to the state of Israel. Our military support to the state of Israel.
You'd abandon Israel?
I would not abandon Israel, but I would withdraw all military support from her.
Well, how would Israel survive without military support?
They would have to do what we need to do, which is to negotiate with the people they consider their enemies and to learn to live with them in peace.
Am I hearing things, or have these people you describe as considered to be enemies not declared their enmity?
I don't condone their behavior any more than I do Israel's. But I think that the United States bears a lot of the responsibility for what's happened over there. In 1948, when we started...
Let's return to al-Qaeda. Let's talk about al-Qaeda. What do we negotiate with al-Qaeda?
Okay, we say, you know what, we're going to get out of the Middle East.
Altogether.
And altogether.
No oil anymore?
I would be willing to bet my life on the fact that if we got out of the Middle East altogether, we meaning us, our military, our allies, our contractors, our journalists, if we pulled out of the Middle East, that there wouldn't be any more terrorist attacks on the United States. There is a cause and effect between what's happening in the Middle East and especially in Iraq right now, as far as insurgents is concerned, and the United States.
Right, but the Al-Qaeda philosophy, as enunciated by bin Laden, not only demands that the United States and Western interests, the Crusaders as they call them, leave the Middle East, and even if we were to do that, it also identifies those Crusaders and those Crusaders' countries as infidels and apostates who must be confronted.
I believe what that means is that as long as we're in their backyard, we must be confronted.
Well, where do you draw the line and say this is the lands of Islam, you can have it, bin Laden, and this is not?
I don't think that's up to us to do.
So bin Laden and the Islamists get to say, these are the lands of Islam, you have to get out.
This is the Middle East. I think, this is the Middle East.
They claim more than the Middle East. They're claiming Britain right now as the lands of Islam.
I think the United States belongs in the United States. I don't think the United States belongs anywhere else.
Well, what happens when they claim the United States as the land of Islam?
I don't think think that's unrealistic for you to say that.
You think it's unrealistic? It's happened everywhere else an Islamic population is built up. Why wouldn't it happen here?
Because the Islamic population in this country is such a vast minority.
Yeah, but it's a small minority, yes.
And it's not something that belongs to people of the Middle East who traditionally have been Muslim.
So your approach to Al-Qaeda is simply to say, we give up.
Why do you shout at me when I try
I'm just
to answer a question?
Your approach is we give up.
We give up what is not rightfully ours, absolutely, yes.
Do you remember last time you were interviewed on this program?
I was interviewed by so many programs, I don't know one from the other.
Oh, well, do you remember hanging up on me? Because I thought you were...
I don't deny that I might have done it. I don't remember it.
I thought you were pretty far out then. I think you're pretty far out now.
Well, you know what? If you keep calling me far out, I'll hang up on you again. Let's talk about something of some substance.
Well, I think it's very far out to say we're not going to defend ourselves against people who want to attack us. We're just going to give up. I think that's far out.
Okay, you think that's far out. I think that we're not being attacked unless we are where we don't belong. And I think that
what is it about this world that you think it's all right for someone else to set our boundaries?
There wouldn't have been a 911.
Why is it you think that Al-Qaeda can set our boundaries in the world?
I don't think that Al-Qaeda can set our boundaries. What makes us think that we can set our boundaries?
No, you just said that they get to say where we can go.
No, they get to defend their. They don't. They get to say what their homeland is.
What is their homeland?
The Middle East.
So
they've never asked for anything.
So they get Egypt, even though the Egyptian government doesn't want them. They get Iraq.
Well, let's see.
The Iraqis don't want them.
That we installed in Egypt.
All right. So you want to tear down Hosni Mubarak and see if Al-Qaeda? You're just giving Al-Qaeda the whole Middle East and saying
I'm not giving Al-Qaeda the whole Middle East.
You just said that.
Al-Qaeda and Hezbollah and Hamas and the Taliban are more representatives of the people of the Middle East and the puppet governments that the United States has installed in those countries.
So you think we ought to give up to them and let Hamas, Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda?
Give up.
I am
saying let people have what is rightfully theirs. We don't belong in the Middle East.
Is it rightfully theirs to claim the right to attack us?
Boundaries in the Middle East.
Is it rightfully theirs to claim the right to attack us?
No, absolutely not.
Good.
It isn't.
Good. I was beginning to worry about you. So since they do claim the right to attack us, what should we do about it?
Understand cause and effect, and I certainly understand that when we attack, we're going to get attacked back. When we refuse to negotiate, we're going to get attacked.
Do you understand, Michael Berg, why there has never been a pacifist who's run this country?
Yeah, most people aren't pacifists.
That's right. Did you notice the news the other day that Al-Qaeda presented a family with their 11-year-old son who had been baked in an oven?
No, I did not know, and I don't condone anything like that. But I don't condone bombing little children from airplanes either.
Right.
Do you know that?
I don't know. It sounds to me like you're willing to give a lot of space to the people who would bake a child. Mr. Berg, thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't want to hang up on him, but I couldn't provoke him into hanging up on me again. I tried.
The Secular Humanist Man of the Year. John Gibson on Fox News Talk.